Hello and welcome to Goa 365's Face to Face. Today, it's my great pleasure to have in front of us a great son of the soil, Mr. Utpal Parikar. I'm sure all of you all know his father. I don't need to this. Welcome, Utpal, onto our show. You have not been too much in the public eye since your father's untimely demise, but suddenly you've been thrust in the public eye because of certain news reports, a meeting you held with, I don't know if it's former or present BJP. So would you like to first start off by clarifying that point, and then maybe we can go on to Utpal Parikar, the man.
So thank you very much for first inviting me. It's not that whether I should be in public eye or not in public eye. That's not the question. I have been meeting many people in Panjim and also in Goa.
Okay.
Many people call me. It's mostly courtesy calls. Mostly people call me to reminisce on their relationship with my father. The why I was trusted in public eye again. Actually, I'd mentioned it that day. There is kind of cynical politics that has happened in Goa. That even if someone meets me, things are attributed to me without even taking clarification from me. So that gentleman wanted to meet him. He has his own plans, and since he has worked with my father before, it was not. I couldn't have avoided meeting him.
Absolutely.
I mean, if he wants to meet me, I have to meet him, and I met him open to everyone. I could have met him secretly, things like that. But the cynical politics which is there makes that forced me to be in the public eye that day. It was a courtesy call. He discussed his plans. I told him that as far as I am concerned, I will be working within the framework of the party which my father had worked to grow in the state. So to anyone to even expect that just because I have met someone to cast aspersions on my integrity regarding my party, that was what made me upset, and that resulted in me coming in the public eye the other day.
See, public eye, what happens is that is part of, I think, being as an occupational hazard of being Mr. Manohar Parikar's son.
Well,
I think you cannot avoid being in the public.
In a way, it's kind of, I would say, enviable position that if just someone clicks a photograph with me, people will start attributing some their own ideas.
That is, see, your father.
Yes,
your father was not just a politician. He was not just a politician. He was a rock star of politics, not only Goa, India. So that is something that you can't help. I don't think you'll ever be able to escape it, whether you're in politics or not. Don't you think?
I don't have a problem with people that becoming a news. I have a problem with that, just me meeting someone and openly having a photograph taken. That casts some aspiration as if I am going to do something without seeking my own clarification. So the confidence in my steps which I will take should there be in the public, that I will not do something which is like cast aspersions on what is expected of me. And when I talk about expected of me, these expectations are from lot of members of my party.
And Goa also, I think, so not only just your
party. I always take that in my mind before I take any step. So lot of people are looking at me, same reason, because being my father's son, that I cannot change. But they are looking at me. Every step which I take will be mindful of their expectation. Their meaning people who have worked hard for my party. I will be mindful of their expectation before I take any step in politics or even otherwise.
Okay. Now, I think this has been laid to rest, unless you want to add anything more to this.
No, there is nothing to add. I will be meeting people whoever has worked in Goa, or especially with my father. If they says that they want to meet, I will meet, and it will be an open meeting without any uh, things attributed, or
Fair enough.
that should not suggest something is going on.
Fair enough. Now, you are saying that you're meeting people, but you have worked for the Panjim candidate last time, but you are meeting people all over Goa, or you're meeting people only in Panjim, or like general meeting, social work, or what? Could you give some
No,
details?
no. So I'm thinking, mostly my focus is on meeting people in Panjim.
Okay.
So they have worked closest with my father for so many years. So I
Correct.
meet them generally, but I also meet people from all over Goa. So there is nothing specific as such. Yeah.
But it difficult, no, making time your business and meeting people, and also you have to learn to make the priorities.
You have to evolve systems where you get time for both. So I am
Yeah.
also working on that.
Okay.
Because you have to do justice to whatever work you do. You cannot do it half-hearted. So
Now,
I'm very clear.
we
My
would like
concepts are clear where I want to work, and that's within the framework of my party.
of the party. Yeah, fair enough. Now, we would like to keep this aside for the time being, and we would like to know what is Utpal the man. We knew Manohar Parrikar the man. Now, we would like, I'm sure all of Goa, not only me, all of Goa would like to know Utpal the man. So, if you could give us a little bit of background on you. You've been with your father, that we know, but background on you, what you are, the person, your likes, maybe your dislikes, and later on we will go in for what you would like to do, the future and all. But right now we would like to know what is Utpal the man.
No, even my father never said he was a politician.
Fair
So
enough. Yeah, that I know.
I'm also not a politician. I just shoot the way I see it. And
Correct.
sometimes in politics that may not be the best thing. I have in core my father was a technocrat, even I am a technocrat. I did my masters in United States and did a lot of thesis in information theory and wireless networks, computer engineering. So that was what my liking was. I worked there for a few years, and now here I am running three different industries into manufacturing, mostly in engineering field. So that is my core interest. Is my hobbies are also kind of similar to
Okay.
do with technical stuff like robotics, things like that. And then the other part of my life has always been politics. Like we have grown up with politics in our house. One part was being a being a technocrat,
Okay.
and the other part was politics. So since childhood, politics was always there in our house. All the discussions on breakfast table were also about politics. So I have grown up in that environment. So naturally, this is also what interests me.
You are a technocrat. Your father was also a technical person. He was an IIT. Now, would some of that the way, see, when you study technical issues, when you especially higher level, you tend to start thinking in a certain way, how to solve problems mathematically, all analysis and all that. Now,
Yes.
are there any similarities, because your dad was like a computer when he used to do these but is that the training that he had as a technical person, and are you also as a technical person, when you talk about politics, when you talk about society, when you talk about, does that training or does that sort of mindset come into the politics, how you look at politics?
Well, when you become engineer, basically all the things in the world looks like a problem, and you try to get solutions for them. So that is a part and parcel of being an engineer, and that
Correct.
was ingrained in him. I think it's just similarly ingrained in me. So even in politics, I want to basically, if I work in that field, would like to target few problems and find solutions for that. Like my politics won't be like the divisive politics which we see in Goa. Even for COVID, the first question which I see people meaning politicians, it should not generalize to overall all the people, but politicians ask, is the bhailo ka bitallo? Goikar ka goicho bhai? Once that is once
Absolutely.
that is answered, they ask, तो नॉर्थ गोव्यातलो का साऊथ गोव्यातलो? नॉर्थ गोव्यातलो जाल्यार साऊथ गोव्यान ईएसआय हॉस्पिटल थंय कित्याक? वन्स दॅट इज आन्सर्ड दे आस्क तो ह्या कोविड केअर सेंटर आसा त्या विलेजींतलो का ह्या विलेजींतलो? So all these divisive things which are happening in Goa, overall I think it's not good for the fabric of the society. Everything is looked upon as a regionalistic and sub-regionalistic.
Anyway, Utpal, let us go into a short break and we'll see you back on the other side. Keep watching. Welcome back. Yeah, Utpal, you were talking about unity and divisiveness and divisive issues. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so all these divisive issues which are cropping up, it's not good for the societal fabric in Goa. So my issues will be something different. Like for example, I am an engineer. I
Correct.
went to United States to study further. I got some experience. I started my own factory here. I came back. But lot of people who studied with me, they are not able to stay in Goa. When we talk about Goan identity, we need to see how we can retain these people. They get good education, not just in Goa but somewhere else, but they are not able to contribute in Goa. They have to be, because of the scale of economy over here, they have to stay in Bangalore, they have to stay in Pune, maybe US. So we need to see on such things. When we make so many engineers, we make so many doctors, we need to see that they are able to work here. So this discourse and this thinking I don't see happening in current political situation. So that is what worries me. And if I come in politics, these will be the ideas which I will be working on.
It's a need of the hour, right? Especially now, look, we are in the middle of a pandemic, major economic crisis, of course, but also health crisis. And your father's name, every time, every discussion, forget we, you go somewhere, you say, Arey, Manohar Parrikar Ashilo, it would never have been allowed to go to this stage. Every time, I'm sure people have come and told you this, but people come and tell us because they know that we interact with this. Arey, you would never have done this. There was you won't believe, two levels. There was a migrant issue in Margao when suddenly the Fatorda Stadium was closed when there were about more than 1,000, 2,000 people outside. I got calls saying, Arey, it would never have happened. How did he allow the government servants to happen like this? They were getting scared. He would have called up and, so many of these things, the comparison with the present state of politics. In your own party, in the BJP itself, people are talking on the roads. It's not that the journalists are talking or politicians are talking. So I understand what you're saying, but this is part of it. What I'm talking about is that brand of politics of your fathers was unique. I don't see that. Indeed, we have been following politics for many years. We've seen, and we've seen him come up right from the time he was in MAPSA and came back from industrialist and politics. So what I'm saying is that, what are your plans? How do you intend to bring this type of brand, this charismatic, this okay, I'll do it, problem solving? Is this what you want to bring? Do you want to get into politics in Goa? What are your plans? Let's talk about this first. Then we'll go there. Don't put the cart before the horse. I'm talking about active politics. Active means get into the politics of it, get into this.
That I would say time will tell. First I have to work with people and convey my ideas to them. And if people like those ideas, then automatically there will be a way for me to come into politics. Politics should not be the end. It should be just the means.
Now you're talking like your father. Now you're talking like your father. Exactly, he used to say that. He used to say exactly that.
Yeah, future generation.
Yeah.
So if I can contribute something, only time will tell. Slowly, I'll put my efforts. I'll work with people. Let's see. After all, people have to appreciate, and people have to support, and people have to vote on it.
I don't think there is any lack of support for you, Utpal. By the way, just to inform you, in case you're not aware, I don't think there is lack of support. I think people are waiting for you to say, okay, I am a contender. I am here. You correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think you're being very modest, or I don't know what, circumspect.
No, no. Some answers are meant for future. They are not to be given. So
Fair enough.
where it takes me, what I am willing to tell you is I am going to work with people. I am going to keep meeting them. Let's
Correct.
see where it goes.
Absolutely. Now the second
It will
part.
be hubris to like announce that I am there now. It's
No,
not
no,
like that.
I'm not
I
saying
work
that.
with
But the intention.
it enough and convey my ideas to them and understand them also, and then maybe slowly that time will come.
No, but what I was my question earlier is that brand of politics. Do you intend to continue that brand of politics, that problems having no, I can do it type of politics, or the cynical politics as you see today, as in like, no, no, he's coming little bit, he's doing something, pull him down. How do you see, in case you decide, in
No, no.
case
So
you decide at a future stage?
no, no. So I have already mentioned to you. If I am there, I will be working on certain problems which are there. We need to find solutions. These problems are the biggest problem I see is the all pervasive corruption in the
Hmm.
government machinery. It's
Hmm.
nothing to do with any government or any person, but there is a machinery itself. There is a all pervasive corruption. I know why it is there. So for that we have to change the system somewhat. It is about recruiting people the way it is done. All that is all related. Also the discretionary power that politicians have. Just because he gets elected, he gets lot of discretionary power. That he
Yes.
sits on a fight. He
Hmm.
doesn't take decision. So that creates an unfair practice. That creates a avenue for corruption. All those things we need to work out how we can get rid of that. It
Correct.
should be systemic. Just because some person is there and has got elected, he has got discretionary power to held back some other person's work, and that leads
Absolutely.
to corruption. All these things require some proper solution. And if I am there, I am interested in working for those solutions. The current all these I divisive and all that, I am not interested in that.
Now, one thing, Utpal, we have noticed that the current politicians, I'm talking across the board, across, I'm not talking about any party, so don't misunderstand what
Yes.
I'm trying to say. Across the board, we find that the politicians cannot see the big picture. This is something that your father was an expert. He could immediately visualize, no, this has to be done, that has to be done, and look at everything and then bring all the pictures together. Do you find that that is another big issue in today's politics, in governance in today? Because see,
Yeah,
you have to
that
understand, your father was not well for some time also, and day to day running he was not doing.
So no, so this is basically cropped up because we have turned democracy into competition for getting votes. It
Absolutely.
boils down to that, and then there is like it's a slippery slope. Once you
Hmm.
to get votes, if you go on that slippery slope, then the other guy goes even further down. So
I
because
agree.
of that, most politicians end up being like in a constant competition, and that also brings this all this sub-regionalism, regionalism. That's because it's like a drive towards that. Any issue which can get you votes becomes the issue, and it may not have any real relation with the problems we are facing. So even with the COVID, most thing, if you see the political discourse, it is for moving towards the election and getting votes. It is not towards actually finding solutions. So that is something which worries me. If I believe that we have to leave the state in a better condition for the next generation.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I don't know whether we are going in that direction. That worries me. Because if I wanted, I could have just stayed in United States. But
Hmm.
I came back because I wanted to come back and see that this place where I grew up and I studied uh, ends up in a better position than when I was doing it. So the
Absolutely,
next
absolutely.
generation should be in better position. So that is my
Hmm.
worry.
Yeah, this is something that not only you but lot of people of my age and younger and probably low are all of us are thinking like, Arey, ultimately we are living in this place, we have expectations from this place, we are working to this place, but where is it ultimately all going? All of us, Utpal, you are not the only one. There are a lot of people who are questioning their existence and the way we are going. Okay, now one point, we are running out of time, so I would like just to bring up this one point, which is a matter of pride for all of us. I can openly say that is after so many years. I think the last was in 86 or 85 or 86 when the Sukhoi's Mk1s came down. Now Rafael, this was your father was the defense minister at that time, the number 2 or number 3 in the country. What do you have to say on it? I would like your thoughts on this.
So even in there, you see the cynical politics. They comment that my father was selling fish when the PM
No,
was
no, no, no,
PM
no.
was
That is not something we have covered, please. Not our type
no,
of
no, no.
journalism.
Even the latest book which is out, all the Rafale related or defense related mostly is explained only with that fish selling thing. So the previous deal which was there was all convoluted. Meaning in the process of being called saint, Mr. Anthony was the previous defense minister. He basically abdicated duty of taking any decisions. No, he was not taking any
Absolutely.
decisions. So for the prime minister, it was very difficult to go with the previous deal because there are so many things which even Deso was not able to commit. I think Nitin Gokhale has written about it. So
Hmm.
prime minister took a courageous step that we need to scrap that deal and then go with government to government contract. And lot of negotiations took place. Even consultation took place before the thing was announced, and then afterwards there was price negotiation and everything which took place, and that resulted in this deal being signed. And finally, yesterday we saw it coming to fruition. I wish my father was there to see it, but uh,
I'm sure he must be somewhere watching over and saying, yup,
yes,
at last
yes. So
it happened. I'm sure he must be there.
I got a very good positive response from across the nation.
Yes,
Got many messages saying that also on WhatsApp and in person also, saying that he should have been there and he would have been most happiest. There are many things like OROP is there, like a lot of artillery is coming. Like 30 years
Hmm.
we didn't purchase any artillery. The
Correct.
Bofors guns were cannibalized by the army to make few of them work. So after 30 years, artillery is coming in
Correct.
M777,
M7
Dhanush.
triple seven say the American guns, which have gone to the border now, China border.
Yeah,
The
they are
Chinooks, the
titanium
Apache.
based. So,
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yes.
a lot of things were changed by him when he was there, and we are seeing
Absolutely.
the fruits right now.
Utpal, we've run out of time. Any last words
Yes.
before I close?
Now, so regarding politics, I will, as I said, I will be meeting people, and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, okay.
More than that, I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Fair enough. We give you that. Thank you very much, Utpal. It was a pleasure.
Yeah,
And
thank you
keep
so much.
watching Goa 365.